Hi guys, you may be wondering what I am doing here. Actually, I would like to thank the Realme community team for inviting me to host the special episode of Ask Madhav as we dare to speak what every other brand shies away to speak on. As you guys know, I used to work as a tech reviewer and I've always been brutally honest on my take on various brands and tech products. But I always wanted to make products and wanted to make sure that people be happy with the products that I make. And I was glad to join Realme, which allowed me to be at the center of the action, make these products for people and provide this amazing experience to all the consumers. And that is my Realme story. Now talking about the person who has changed the way users expect from brands on delivering tech trend-setting products. He's clearly the man who has made India as the focus point for all the initiatives that have been taken, be it the first 64-megapixel smartphone, the fastest charging smartphone in India, or the first 5G smartphone. He has always dared to speak for the users and their demands for absolutely no compromise on the tech lifestyle that they want. Let me invite the fan favorite CEO, Madhav, the creator of Ask Madhav program.
Thank you, Sri, for that amazing introduction. I think I had a flashback listening to you and all the proud milestones we have achieved for our Indian users in the last 2.5 years. Today, Realme is not only a force to reckon in India's being among the top 4 smartphone brands, but is also the fastest brand in the world. This success has motivated us to dare to leap further with our 1+4+N strategy, aiming India's most popular tech lifestyle brand. I am thankful to our fans, which is 27 million in India and about another 20 million globally, so which is in total of 45 million fans globally. And when you have so much love and support from the fans, they had as also have been a lot of expectations from you. A significant amount of my time is invested in going through the users' feedback, and certainly I've kept them in mind while building the faster 7 series, but still there are certain hard topics which brands refrain from taking on, and today we will take them straight on, giving our users a peek into why we make certain product decisions.
Well, great to hear. Let's start then. And the first one is a question that has come up a lot. Now, in the smartphone industry, when we talk about CMF, which is color, material, and finish, smartphone brands are especially known to push the envelope forward, right? We used anti-glare on our Realme X3 series. And some of the older materials that used to be very popular, like metal and leather, are also coming back. What's your take on that?
Realme, as a brand, always tries to bring different to the users and designs as one department where we keep on experimenting. With Realme X3, we tried AG technology. This technology applied gives a silky touch feeling. It looks premium, very smooth, but not slippery. You asked why nowadays metallic materials are not used on smartphones. A few years ago, it was widely used. There are several factors that brought this industry change. First of all, metallic materials are not signal friendly. When users' expectations on signal grow stronger, this becomes one disadvantage for the metallic smartphones. Secondly, metallic materials get oxidized with time. They look and feel hence compromised. There are other factors as well, but overall it is an industry-wide trend. Leather materials have been used in high-end phones from old days, giving it a decent and mature feeling. There are some practical challenges if any brand wants to use it, including cost, manufacturing, or antioxidant techniques. We are exploring the feasibility there. The precondition it has to look appealing to our younger audience. If it indeed worked out, you may again see Realme as a tech trendsetter, dare to leap and take the lead in the industry trend. You must have seen the new Realme V5 launched in other markets as well. That's also a new material started getting adopted by the different smartphone brands. We will bring something similar to India very soon.
Well, that was insightful. But there's another topic in materials which is highly debated, which is plastic versus glass. What's your take on that?
Okay, if you're talking about the best among these, then the glass will definitely have an upper edge in terms of touch and feel. The glow on the back, the overall performance feel of the material, glass is better. But there are many varieties of glass like 3D, Then there is 2.5D and so on. There are good glass with better comprehensive feel, and there are normal glass which is just there for marketing purpose. Whatever glass it is, the disadvantage of being heavy and fragile is always there. It is not a big issue, but is still a concern for many users. Plastic has its own pros and cons too. The obvious disadvantage plastic has over glass is that it cannot provide the premium feel and touch. However, it's lighter and more robust. What's more important, it is that the flexible material, which means there are more CMF technologies that can be applied on it. Plastic gives more options in terms of designs. Given the best quality of plastic, the touch and feel can be very similar to glass. We have put tremendous efforts there. Realme 6 design is just an example. Be it glass or plastic, there are followers of each, and the industry is always changing and evolving. The main objective for every brand remains the same: to deliver the best combination of features in the segment.
This has given us a good insight on what materials are used at the back of the phone so that the consumers can also know about it, be more aware about it, right? And that can also influence their purchase decision in some way. Now let's move on to one big question, right? Why don't we see more pop-up cameras? That's a question that a lot of people are asking. And this is something that I think you should answer for all those users who are listening.
All right. The most important, the foremost reason is the weight and the thickness. The pop-up module is quite big when it's applied. It either compromises on the thickness and the weight of the phone, or compromises on the battery size to have a thinner body. Now with 5G coming in, the 5G module has gone bigger, more space was taken by 5G. And 5G smartphones and pop-up cameras together are not resulting in the best form factors out there. Even the consumers are more comfortable with the camera module within the device. So with respect to the current constraints, most brands have temporarily opted out from these technologies. And as far as the industry of today is developed, there won't be many pop-up camera smartphone anymore from any of the brand.
I see how far we've come in terms of smartphone technology, yet there is so much that is there to explore for the future and a lot of things that are going to come. Now, our users want to know what are our plans when it comes to another thing that, because we as humans, we can't get satisfied with less. We need more and more. And one of the things people want more is more megapixels. When we give 64, they want even more. What's your take on that?
That's another industry trend to go with the camera numbers. We started the development for the higher megapixel phones like 108 megapixel from the beginning. But so far, we haven't commercialized it. Pixels are very important to record more optical information. That's true. But the capability of the processor is also equally important. Since with the current processing capability, it takes several seconds to produce the picture. So software optimization is another challenging front which needs to be developed further to massify this technology. And another important requirement to better enjoy a high-resolution photograph is to have a high-resolution screen as well. So it's not just putting a big megapixel camera on the smartphone. For the best experience, you need to take other factors also into account. We are open to this, and it is not just about our own R&D. The whole industry needs to be ready for it. We don't want to do it as a marketing gimmick, and we will only equip this once the technology is much mature enough and our users really gets benefit out of it.
Yes, I agree completely. This is something that I have been telling as well to our users, that it's not just the megapixel, it is the ISP inside, the software technology that we put on top that makes sure that a good picture comes out, right? Now, there's another technology that a lot of people have been asking about, and this is a little more futuristic. This is 5G. A term that's right now the hot keyword in the market, right? We also brought our first 5G smartphone in India. But the confusion from people is that telecom operators don't seem to be ready for it. And we're already bringing a 5G smartphone. So what's your take on that?
Yes, 5G is undoubtedly the biggest trend in the industry right now. Given their conditions, processor manufacturers will also provide more 5G processors to the market. Their focus has been moved to 5G technology. Therefore, by the end of 2020, most smartphone brands will not launch 4G smartphones, about 20,000. Though people may ask, why do we need a 5G smartphone when the network is not there? Well, there is nothing wrong to be future ready, and more importantly, you are not buying just a 5G smartphone, and not just because it is a 5G ready, but also because the processor itself is very powerful and efficient. So consider 5G as a value add. Realme will bring the best power and style at every single price point.
I agree. And I think when it comes to futuristic technology, I think what pushes the envelope forward is demand, right? Demand from users. And demand is created. We are here creating a demand, and I think that will certainly push the technology forward. That being said, moving on to a question that's going to be quite tough, I think. Very tough question. 3.5mm jack, audio jack. Where is the audio jack? A lot of people are asking, where is the audio jack? Where is it, Madhav?
See, as more and more brands have started emphasizing the design of its phone to make it lighter and thinner, while saving space to network modules and battery, the space originally which was used for 3.5mm headphone jack, which was saved. Also, as TWS and wireless buds are getting popular nowadays, more brands started opting to exclude 3.5mm jack. Well, as a user-oriented brand, Realme is cautious on this front. I still don't see wired earphone going out of fashion anytime soon. So still, almost all the devices from the Realme in the mid-range and the entry level will continue to host the 3.5mm jack.
Yeah, and I agree. This is a very difficult question. I personally have been fickle-minded about this wired or wireless earphones. But me having personally been working on TWS as well, I'm really glad that this industry is growing. And also good news that we are now the third largest personal audio brand in India. So that's quite rewarding, and I think we are all proud of that. Now, moving forward, one of the things that we have been known for as Realme, as a brand in the industry, when it comes to smartphones, is our charging, our fast charging. And when it comes to fast charging, there are so many standards. There is 18 watt, 20 watt, 27 watt, 30 watt. And a lot of people are really curious to know how it all works. Like, if I buy a 30 watt charger from not Realme, like from another brand, and I buy a 30 watt charger from Realme, what is the difference? Like, why should I buy a Realme charger? What is the advantage with a Realme charger?
The watt that every brand promotes is just actually the output power. More the wattage, faster the charging. Watt is equal to an ampere multiplied by the voltage. You can either increase the voltage or charge for the fast charging. To make a metaphor, it is like you are using a pipe to water the land. If you want to output more water, either giving it to a more rapid torrent or using thicker pipes to provide bigger flow. This leads to two popular charging solutions in the market.
Yeah, so when it comes to output power, you can either increase the voltage, so have a high voltage, low current solution, or a high current, low voltage solution. High current, low voltage is what we use. But what is really the difference between the two?
There is a difference. As far as the current battery technology goes, for each single battery, the highest acceptable voltage of input is around 5 volts. No matter how big the voltage output from the charger, the final input to your battery cannot surpass 5 volts. So for the high voltage solution, which is widely used across the industry, take 9 volts 2 ampere as an example. To keep the battery safe while charging, a voltage transformation process has to be done. So the 9 volts output will be transformed to a lower but safer 5 volts input voltage that your battery can accept. This is a good solution actually. However, during the transformation, there will be a loss of power. Then on one hand, the result is relatively lower charging efficiency. On the other, the extra power will be released in the form of the heat. Since the transformation process happened on the phone itself, it will cause heating. But this solution has been well optimized now. No need to worry about it. It's safety. Brands with this solution may stop fast charging while the screen is on for safety and heat control. In Realme's charging solution, we keep the voltage unchanged, but use a thicker cable like a pipe to increase the current. That is why it's a high current, low voltage solution. The voltage transformation to the 5 volts has been done at the charger itself. Hence, the heat will be mostly happening on the charger instead on the phone. Temperature control of the phone body is the biggest charm of this solution. You can charge even while playing games or watching videos. In Realme 3 Pro, we brought this 20 watt fast charge solution, which is 5 volts 4 ampere. You can notice the charger cable is thicker than other high voltage solution phones. Then we brought a 30 watt fast charger, which is 5 volts 6 ampere. The principle is the same. We were able to increase the current to the 6 ampere with better material, which has smaller resistance and a better charging algorithm. For a standard 3C battery, the maximum current supported is around 6.5 ampere. The highest voltage is around 5 volts. So eventually, this will become the challenge for any brand that wants to build the fastest charging phone. Realme never stops making breakthroughs. We finally figured out an approach to further increase the speed. We use 2 battery units with series connection. Still 5 volts for each battery cell, but with series connection. The total voltage is doubled to 10 volts. So when a 50 watt supercharged charger outputs a 10 volts, 5 ampere electricity, each battery cell is getting charged at 5 volts and 5 ampere at the same time. Hence, overall charging efficiency is significantly lifted. Similarly, the electricity output by the 65 watts is 10 volts, 6.5 ampere supercharged charger, halved into two 3C batteries. With this solution, cost is increased for sure, but that's how we pioneered in charging technology. Hope I explained this clearly enough. More you will hear on our upcoming launch events.
Right, and I think when it comes to the supercharged chargers, the 65 watt and the 50 watt, there's something that did confuse a lot of people when they saw 10 volts and 5 ampere and heard us talking about high current. I think the fact when they know that it was voltage being halved of the 10 volts, that's, I think, will help them understand what the charging technology and how it works.
But in the normal user scenarios, if you start using a dart charge, you will never go back to the normal charging solution.
That's true actually. Once you go dart, you never go back. Now, charging is a very big technology, right? There's, I think, another very small thing that we have been able to do, significant change, which when it comes to SIM slots, right? And we've always provided triple SIM slots, not gone to hybrid slots. And people really like that move. And what do you have to say to the users about that triple SIM slot?
Actually, this is a unique thing which is found in India mainly. According to the survey data and the feedback from the market, the actual usage is decreasing. With bigger inbuilt storage, the necessity for 3 slots is not that important as before. But as a brand we started from India, we keep Indian users' demand as our top priority. We have this in most of our smartphones and we will keep it in most of our products just for you guys, and we'll continue to do so.
Well, great news for all our users who still prefer using triple card slots. That's it. There are some smaller issues that people want you to address. Are you ready for them?
Sure, let's address it.
Well, one of them is speaker grill holes, and some of them have 3 holes, some of them have 4 holes. What is really the difference?
Actually, no. This is just to coordinate with the overall designs of the product. There's nothing much.
Well, another part is around those speaker holes. There is this flattened area in some of our smartphones. So, is there some special use for that?
Actually, not. It's just a token from our designer to make it visually thinner. The refraction of the light is changed in the flattened part, which makes it feel visually thinner. It's not a must. Designers have their own take on the product they are designing, but Realme has always put a great emphasis on audio experience, be it a larger bass driver on our earbuds or quad speakers on our TV or Dolby Atmos on Realme smartphones. We consider audio as a basic user experience to be satisfied.
Well, let's take the next one. This one is about the outline on the rear cameras. A lot of people want to know if that circle is metallic or plastic.
I think a lot of users have an interesting questions to be answered for. Yeah. Actually, this depends. Some are plastic, some are metal, like ionized aluminium, which is more costly though but gives a more exquisite feel and user experience. We have applied it in many flagship, including our upcoming Faster 7, and it looks really stunning.
Can you share plans for Android 11? One of the biggest questions that people have been asking.
So guys, stay tuned. Our Realme UI version 2.0 was developed based on Android 11. We will announce our timeline once Google makes its announcement.
Madhav, your series of tweets on building the Faster 7 looks very promising. Now, this new device, this new series is built primarily on customer feedback. Can we share some insights into the journey of building this new series?
As you rightly said, it's based on the customer feedback. Yeah. It's a very special series, the series number 7. I have been in constant touch with the team during the development process. Together, we went through a mountain of user feedbacks and suggestions to bring the most complete device to the users. Starting from the Realme 1 till Realme 6 Pro, Realme has grown from a challenger to the disruptor and then to a mainstream brand. We must have done something which is very right to become the world's fastest growing smartphone brand, and we shall continue with it on Realme 7 series. Few highlights of our Realme Faster 7. They are the India's fastest charging smartphone. They are equipped with world's first processors, never launched anywhere else but first for India. They have been the second generation 64 megapixel camera and upgrade not just on hardware but also many other new features added to the software. Continuing with our focus on quality, the outstanding quality has made Realme the only brand in the industry that has passed renowned TÜV smartphone reliability verification. Both Realme 7 and 7 Pro are the unique smartphones which will surely make waves in the industry. So see you guys on 3rd of September to officially unveil the Faster 7 series.
Thank you for sharing all those things with our users. And I have to say, this has been one of the boldest Ask Madhav episodes that we have done. And we have also taken on hot topics that a lot of other brands might not really answer out there. And I think that is the reason why you get this immense love from our users, right?
I think it's always a great to answer user queries, explain to them why we make certain products and the decisions behind it, and how whatever decisions we make is always keeping in mind the best interest for the users. So guys, thank you once again.
I also thank the Realme community team actually for giving me this opportunity to sit here and chat with you. This was a special episode and I think I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know a lot of you people are missing Siddharth on screen. Don't worry, he'll be back very soon. If you guys have any query, feel free to head to Realme community or simply
Ask Madhav.
Realme smartphone. Dare to lead.